Yo, man, it's been a minute. Where's everybody been? The Raiders did two things in this game that I haven't seen them do in a long, long time. We'll break that down. We'll get into the five players that I thought, earned a roster spot today, made a lot of moves, a lot of big plays. But man, I missed y'all. Let's get unleashed.
The autumn wind is a pirate,
Love starting to myself.
blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song, he sweeps along, swaggering.
Swaggering boisterously.
His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head, and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
You know what I like to do? Just follow me on this one.
Hey, that fire still burns bright here in Las Vegas.
And one future.
Boys,
Talk about commitment to excellence. Just win, baby. Once a Raider, always a Raider. You walk in this building, you can feel it.
It starts with our DNA, ill intent, physicality.
7 memorable decades, 30 Pro Football Hall of Famers, 25 postseason victories, 5 AFL and AFC championships, and 3 Super Bowl titles.
Super Bowl titles. And counting.
Though names, faces, and locations have changed, one constant remains: the unyielding will to win.
Man, welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing? How was the week? What do y'all think about the game? Let me know. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Is everything good? It's been a minute. Got to make sure everybody's checking in. Lost my glasses somehow in the process of being on vacation and haven't got new ones. So, I don't know how long this live will be before my head starts pounding in these garbage glasses. But shout out to everybody in the building. Raider fan for life. Good to see you. It's been a minute. Jason Ruiz, what's good? Candy Unlocked. Appreciate you. Appreciate y'all pulling up. Man, let's talk football. Let's talk football. So right off the bat, man, two things that I've seen from this Las Vegas Raiders team that we haven't seen in a long, long, long time. One, on the goal line, we could actually run the ball. There was no 3 plays, minus 5 yards, minus 10 yards, no penalties, to bring it back from the 1 to the 6. No stupid mistakes, right? Just a running back with all heart, all power, and the will to get into the end zone. So, for all the haters that said Ashton Jeanty wasn't worth a 6th overall pick, I mean, it's just preseason, but I seen a whole lot of flashes. I seen a whole lot of wiggle. I seen a whole lot of power, kind of got his own welcome to the NFL moment, but he also dished out his welcome to the Allegiant Stadium moment to a couple of DBs, linebackers. So Ashton Jeanty, I can't wait to see him get more than 20 touches in a game and see the numbers he can put up, not only running the ball, but catching the ball. We haven't seen him out of the backfield receiving, much yet. That's all to come. I thought we had some standout running backs, right? Chris Collier making some moves. Every time he touched the ball, it seemed to be upfield. Some people thought Zamir White was going to be that hammer. Pete Carroll even said, you need Zamir White to be the hammer. So, he hasn't been that, right? Zamir White not doing much still. Again, they got him on punt returns. I don't know what's going on there. Move the guy to fullback. I'm gonna take these damn glasses off until I gotta read the chat because they're gonna kill me. But shout out to everybody. I'll get to y'all. Tony Chef in the building. I appreciate you. What's good? Been a minute. So, the run game looked decent, right? We didn't see a whole lot of reps from Dylan Labe, but what we seen from Chris Collier, it looks like he could be moving up to that 2 or 3 spot, in my opinion. Like, not a lot from Raheem Mostert, in my opinion. We got a couple of looks. I thought he needed to break a tackle for a first down, and he failed to do so, right? One little cut, a spin move, some kind of wiggle to pick up that first down, when we needed it. He failed to do so. So, could be some spots changing, some roster spots in that running back room. Could be some guys moving on that have been here for a minute. We'll see what happens. But the number one thing, scoring in the red zone, being able to run the ball inside the 5-10 yard line makes a huge difference. Geno Smith being able to, roll out of the pocket, which I thought they should have rolled Aiden O'Connell out in some of those plays. The pressure he was getting, we'll get into that. But all in all, being able to score in the red zone. And the second most important of all that the Raiders have not been able to do, and I don't know how many years, bro, many years, right? They have not been able to capitalize off of turnovers. Maybe a field goal here and there, but a lot of 3 and outs, bad play calling. Jeremy Chin, excellent pick, right? Dove in front of the receiver, doing his 111, staying in his gap. Leads to a good interception. So Jeremy Chin, a guy I've talked about a lot. I think it's going to be huge for this team. Already, first game in Allegiant Stadium, gets his first interception. The only interception of the game, right? So, for our side, not for the other side. So Jeremy Chin making big plays. But the second most important of all that we haven't done in many moons is capitalize off of the turnover. We capitalized off of the turnover, not with 3, but with 7 points. And I can't remember. It's been a long time. Like, I was even going back a minute ago and trying to, find some turnovers that I could go through without watching, the all 22 film of every single game. But it's been a minute, right? It's been a minute since we can go down, call the right plays, move the ball, not with ease, but move the ball in a bunch of different ways. I thought, the timing with Geno and Dante Thornton, it's not the same as one-on-one drills, right? I thought on that play he was held. The man was holding his jersey for a little bit on that play. I don't know how that wasn't called. Anytime somebody grabs your jersey, it's going to slow you down. But the timing's got to get better. We've seen Cam Miller miss a wide-open pass. We've seen Aiden O'Connell miss a wide-open touchdown. All 3 of our quarterbacks overthrew wide open touchdowns very easily. So, that's got to come together. I think the Raiders need to do a better job, in my opinion. Again, just a couch GM, nobody special. But from what I see, I see too many reps with Geno in the ones. Put Cam Miller out there. Put Aiden O'Connell out there. Let them see what they can do. And I don't know if it's because they don't want any pressure of anybody saying, well, damn, Cam Miller looks better than all of them, or Aiden O'Connell looks better than both of them. Maybe they don't want the competition like they're talking about. But both of these quarterbacks said they were willing to compete. And you can't compete for a job if you're running with the 2s and the 3s constantly. So for Aiden O'Connell and Cam Miller, I want to see one of these games where they go out there and they run with the 1s, right? Let them throw to Dante Thornton. Let them throw to Brock Bowers. Let them throw to Michael Mayer. I mean, it makes a difference who you're throwing to as a quarterback, especially if you're not getting time, right? If the O-line is not holding up and you have less than 3 seconds to throw the ball, I don't care if you're Aiden O'Connor, Cam Miller, Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson. It doesn't matter, bro. If you don't have time to throw the ball and you don't feel comfortable in the pocket or comfortable with the receivers that you're throwing the ball to, it's a recipe for disaster, right? All things have to be clicking. And if you're not getting time with certain guys, but you get time with them in a game, or you have different guys blocking for you on the O-line, which you're going to have, right? Players get hurt. but not entirely different offensive line, right? So I thought the offensive line on the third string looked a lot better. I thought Dalton Wagner looked very, very good. I thought Lackey Tossi looked, pretty damn good out there moving bodies for a big man. Thayer Munford needs to get the fuck off the team, bro. I'm sorry. I ain't trying to be a douchebag, but you have no business on this team. Play after play after play. And it has nothing to do with Aiden O'Connell. Put him out there with Geno. Put him out there with Cam Miller and see what happens. Play after play after play, no matter who he is going up against, is in the backfield. And it's less than 2 seconds. He has, he's a turtle out there, man. The guy is getting cooked, and I don't know how he is still on this roster. I thought Dalton Wagner, if he needs to be moved over, Charles Grant needs to be moved over to that side. I don't know who we have backing him up. I'll look at the roster here in a minute. But whoever is behind him needs to get opportunities, bro, because Thayer Munford just looked absolutely horrible out there every single play. I mean, dude was getting absolutely worked. Not just once, not just twice, every single snap. So they got to do better, man. We need help, back up. Let some of these young guys get reps out there. Again, I thought the third string offense looked way solid. Again, Hufford looked good at guard. I thought Dalton Wagner looked good at tackle. Lackey Tossi, looked good. So, excuse me. Some of these guys I feel need to move around on this offensive line. If we're going to move JPJ from center and switch a guy like Jordan Meredith in there, I think some of these guys, need more reps at these other positions. Whether it's guard, whether it's right tackle, get some of these guys out there with the ones in some of these practices in the next couple weeks, because you never know when an injury is going to happen. And if something happens to DJ Glaze, God forbid, and Thayer Munford is the guy taking his place, I don't care if Geno Smith can run. I don't care if he runs a 4.240. Our offense is not going to work. It is not going to click with Thayer Munford, bro. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. I'll break down some all 22 because, I don't know how he's out there with the second team. It just makes no sense to me. Absolutely. I thought the second team offensive line couldn't open any holes for the run game. There was no run game when they were out there. When the third team got out there, Collier and I think just Collier pretty much, and Dylan Labe, had some runs. There were some holes open. They were moving the ball forward instead of, sideways or backwards. But the second team, Jack Besh, did damn good. Had some good plays, fighting for the ball, not going down, showing why we drafted him second overall. I want to see him with the ones a little bit, right? Mix it up. For 2 weeks in a row now, we've seen, what's supposedly our starters, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, which, Trey Tucker had 1 catch. Jacoby Myers had 1 catch. And I know Geno only threw the ball 8 times. But leave those guys out there for Aiden O'Connell, at least for a series, right? See how he runs with those guys, because everybody's saying trade Aiden O'Connell, right? Aiden O'Connell had the worst game ever. He threw 1 interception. He was, 15 for 20, 15 for 22 or 25, 15 for 23 with 140-something yards and an interception. I mean, it's not horrible numbers. I seen some damn good passes when he had time in the pocket. I seen a guy that doesn't feel comfortable when the pocket collapses around him within 2 seconds, which most quarterbacks don't. And I hear people saying, he needs to tuck in and run. But Rich Gannon up in the booth, and I don't know what game y'all watched, but Rich Gannon up in the booth, because that's what I was watching. Rich Gannon and Kurt Morrison, and shout out to Kurt Morrison and Rich Gannon. Hell of a broadcast. I loved it. They had Spy Tech in the building. I like those two together, right? They gel well. Kurt, one of my favorite linebackers, definitely has, a knack for broadcasting. Rich Gannon, always. I love his take on the receivers, on the O-line, on the quarterbacks. And, even he talked about it. You got to give this man protection, and you got to give him different options. I thought when he was out there was Jack Besh and and Alex Bachman were the receivers most of the time. Like, those aren't two guys that create a lot of separation, right? They're not going to get open too much. Those are guys that, are going to fight for the ball. They're aggressive. Bachman more, of a crafty route runner. Not a guy that's going to kill you with speed, right? Not a guy that's going to beat you off the line. But you got to give these quarterbacks different weapons. Throw Cedric Jackson in there, move him around. I thought would make a big difference. But I see Aiden O'Connell maybe not making it out of camp, man. I don't know who's going to pick him up when all they do on X is blast, every bad throw or every bad thing he makes. And, something I got to say here. I'll get to the chat in a minute. Shout out to Lexi. Shout out to everybody in the chat. But what is going on with these beat reporters for the Raider Nation, right? Raider reporters, every Aiden O'Connell, as soon as he threw that interception, there was 20 different posts by everybody on the planet posting Aiden O'Connell's interception. But when Cam Miller throws a game-losing interception to end the game and give him a chance to come down and kick a field goal, not one person posted it. Not one person commented. Nobody said shit. Why does Raider Nation not keep the same energy? You can't say there's not hate on somebody in somebody's soul that could sit there and blast somebody for making one mistake in a preseason game who's had, 17, 18 complete games? Or started in 17 games? Played in 20, 20, now 22 with the preseason. Come on, man. It took Geno 8 years to figure it out in Seattle. But you're ready to throw Aiden O'Connell away, a 4th-round pick, not a 2nd-round pick like Geno, right? Everybody's willing to throw this man away for one interception. Like, the energy level is crazy. Nobody keeps the same energy. Everybody has favorites. Everybody has different takes. But I didn't see a bad game from Aiden O'Connell. I seen one bad decision. I seen 2 sacks that, you could have probably threw the ball away, maybe, instead of taking the sack. But we'll play him. We'll break it down tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, Monday. We'll break it down Monday on Monday Night Scrutiny because it's back. So we're going to be breaking down some highlights. We're going to be breaking down some film. And we're going to show some pretty damn good plays. Some pretty damn good plays. But again, Aiden O'Connell, both sacks, all over X. All over Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. Cam Miller got sacked. I see one person post it. One person. Shout out to that one person for keeping it real. If you're going to talk about somebody making mistakes, and I don't want to hear that, he's a rookie because they did it to every rookie, right? Dylan Gabriel today blasted all over X. As soon as he threw an interception, he had a pretty damn good game going, right? Was moving the ball until that one play got him. So, it's crazy. It's crazy how y'all hate on this dude. Hate on these players sometimes that the energy level just doesn't keep it the same. But all right, let me get in this chat before it gets too far. I'm gonna forget about most of the shit I gotta say. Damn, I can't move it that way. Let me get back up here. Shout out everybody in the building. All right, what do we got? Did you see the game today? Of course. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Raiders. Oh, my hat looks crazy. Jeanty 2. Yes. All muscle, man. Hit those thumbs up. Appreciate you. Yes, get me back in the algorithm. It's been a minute. And Pete, we trust 12-5. 12-5, man. Last week I was like, that is not my prediction, right? This week I feel a little bit better. I didn't see Grim, my guy. What's up? Jack Yates in the building. I didn't see. What am I trying to say? I didn't see as bad of a performance this week as last week. Last week, the tackling was horrible. The run stopping was horrible. We got worked over the middle. Our DBs got cooked. Yes, they got worked a little bit today. Um, but it's preseason, man. You got to find the right guys. And some of these guys are young. It's going to take time. And not to mention, it's a new defense. We keep forgetting that. It's not only a new defense for these players, this is a new defense for PG, Patrick Graham. Patrick Graham's got to learn a whole new defense and teach it to these guys at the same time. So everybody's learning on the fly. And plus, Patrick Graham is, still implementing. I've seen a lot of, mixing it up with some 4-2-5. A lot that we ran primarily, last year was our base defense. So they're trying to gel two philosophies together on defense. That's not going to come together overnight. It's going to take time. It's going to take more than preseason. And unfortunately for us, going 12-5, our offense is going to have to be great because it looks like, they're gelling. I've seen a lot of, different plays from the same formation from the offense, and we'll get into that. But defensive-wise, it's going to take time, man. These guys got to find their role, and they have to know what they're doing, right? When you're constantly mixing it up, when you have different roles, different positions, right? When you're in a cover 3 sky, whether you're the corner or the safety, you have a different role, right? Your role might be to watch the tight end. Your role might be, to back up with the receiver because the receiver covering him's gonna let him go after 5 or 10 yards, right? Everybody has different roles. But I think it's going to take time for them to gel, man. It's going to take time for them to pick it up. But when they do, I can see them being nasty, right? We'll get into my 5 players, that I thought really stood out. But I saw a lot of improvement from last week from a lot of these guys. JJ Pegues, his motor is nasty, bro. The dude doesn't give up on any play. I don't know how he even got to some of these running backs that were 10 yards downfield, but he found a way. He doesn't give up. Came from the other side of the field one time, right? The guy was in a 2 technique, and he ends up all the way on the left-hand side of the field, making a play on the sideline out of bounds to the running back. Now, yes, granted, the running back got slowed up by some guys missing tackles. But shout out to JJ Pegues, hustling, making plays. I thought Thomas Booker had good and bad. There was 2 plays that went, we got gashed in the running play because he didn't contain his gap. Overrushed, right? And just left a wide open hole up the middle with nobody behind him. Nobody behind him to stop it. So, yeah, man, there was a lot of things from a lot of players. And, 12-5 could be very well possible if we keep growing. If this defense puts it together a little faster than I believe they are, because I thought, from day one, the defense was going to be ahead of the offense like it usually is, and it would take time for this offense to gel. But it seems like Geno Smith has picked it up very, very well, right? He's correcting his mistakes very quickly from last week, from the practices. A lot of the interceptions he's had in practice, he's corrected. Definitely, a huge sign, right, for the Las Vegas Raiders. So the offense being ahead of the defense is surprising. It's surprising for a lot of people, including myself. I thought the defense, even with the new scheme that Patrick Graham's trying to implement with Pete Carroll, that they were still going to be a little bit farther ahead, right? The offense, you have so many different plays, and we've seen today how many, maybe I don't know how good you pay attention or how much you watch film on the game, but I seen today a couple of times where they ran the same formation, the same look, but a totally different play, right? One time Geno stood in the pocket, handed off. The next time he threw it deep to Dante Thornton. The next time he rolled out of the pocket from the exact same formation, exact same people, personnel in that formation. So it puts it puts the defense in surprise mode. You don't know what's coming, and when you have, like I've heard a couple times, 4, 5, 6, even up to 7 different plays out of one formation, kind of like John Gruden used to do with Derek Carr. People forget how how smart Derek Carr was and how much he had to know as a quarterback, because that's a lot of plays, man. When you have a playbook this thick and you're calling 4, 5, 6 plays out of every formation, that's a lot. That's a lot. So it's gonna take time for the offense, a little bit more time than we thought. And they play some tough ass games, man. New England Patriots look super good again. Their running back, Travion Henderson, is just absolutely nasty with the ball in his hands. Somebody contain that man, please. But they have 3 running backs on that squad, right? They already had a starting running back, and they have Jackson, I think, third string, or Travion's third string right now. I don't know. But the Patriots are going to be a challenge, man. That defense is fast. It's physical. They're just like their coach, Vrabel. They're flying around. And I might have overestimated them. I might have overlooked them. But I feel that Patrick Graham knows a whole lot about Dick Daniels' offense. And I feel like we have the upper hand here. I hope with Pete Carroll, in the building. And I've seen a lot of good things from the defense. I've seen a lot of stunts. I've seen a lot of formations. I've seen mixing guys around. Tyree Wilson, man. Let's get to Tyree Wilson. Tyree Wilson didn't stow up on the stat sheet, but he played a hell of a game. A hell of a game. He was constantly setting the edge, right? Taking the double team, for Max to get through. Then when Max wasn't out there, he's setting the edge for Jonah Lalu, who had a big tackle on somebody, knocked his helmet off, or big ass hit. So Jonah Lalu making plays. I thought the first team defense, looked a lot better. The defensive line looked a lot more fresh. Max Crosby with two huge run stops back to back, setting the tone out there. So a lot of good things from part of the first team defense. Because the biggest problem I seen when Brock Purdy was out there, and even when Mac Jones got put out there, is we got cooked over the middle. And that was a problem in Seattle for Pete Carroll and the cover three defense, right? We talked about it. I talked about it 2 months ago. We broke it all down. We showed the plays, right? We showed how to cover the formations. We showed all that shit. We broke it down. Over the middle, running up the middle, just gashes the cover 3. So anytime we're in that, it seems to be a problem, bro. So hopefully Patrick Graham could come up with some schemes to stop over the middle. I think we have the defensive backs to run a lot more press man. I didn't see hardly any. I don't think I seen any press man. Absolutely, to be honest, I might have to go back and watch film because I wasn't looking for that on defense. But I'll go back and watch all 22. But I don't, somebody let me know in the comments if you know. I didn't see any press man, and I think we have the corners to do that, right? Eric Stokes, decent, 6 foot, has the speed. You have Darian Porter Jr. out there, has the size, has the speed. You have DCam. You have my guy, Las Vegas native, Kai Blue Kelly. Man, shout out to Kai Blue Kelly out there banging, right? And we'll get to my 5 players here in a minute. But I'm going to give you a sneak peek. That was one of them, Kai Blue Kelly, making plays constantly. And I think is a guy that definitely has made a spot on this roster. And like Pete Carroll said, has earned a lot of time, right? He's earned the play time. Oh, shit. Sorry, I'm watching UFC at the same time. But I'm going to ramble, man. I'm not going to get into this chat too much because these glasses hurt like hell. So 12-5, man. Let's go. I love it. Top 5 offense. My camp kicked the Chiefs' asses. shout out to Seattle, man. Seattle's defense looks nasty. And of course, we know there was no first team out there from the Kansas City Chiefs, but their depth, their depth doesn't scare me. It makes me happy as hell. And I know it's just preseason, and we know Andy Reid's not one of those guys that gives a shit about preseason. He's just out there, trying to see what he can see from guys. He's not going to show his cards. My guy Chewy, what's good? What's good? Um, but yeah, man, Seattle looks good. The Chiefs, man, I hope that I hope their depth is really, really that bad. Um, why the names went back to normal in the chat? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. We still need time. I don't see more than 10 wins. I'm good with 10 wins. I'm good with 10 wins. But let me ask you this. If we can get 10, why not 12, right? What other two teams are going to beat us? I mean, if we're good enough to beat 10 of those teams, I feel like we're good enough to beat 12 of them, right? That's just my opinion. I'm at work. Salute to my guy Jack. Appreciate you pulling up at work. 4-2 in the West. Raiders. 12-5. I'm down for it. I'm down for it. This is not a competition anymore. Cam is our backup, hands down. AOC lost his job. So you're telling me a guy that comes in, throws one good pass, gets sacked, throws the interception to lose a game, wins the backup job as a rookie? Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here with that. Stop. Stop. Come on, Raider Menace. Stop, bro. Leaky, my guy, was good. Trenches made up for mistakes from last week. They did. They did. They looked much better. Corners look sus out there along the secondary side. The corners look sus for the starting role. I thought the third string safeties and the third string corners looked pretty good. Yes, they drove the ball down the field, but they mostly, started, I think, to run the ball a little bit. A lot of short outs. I think Patrick Graham needs to let these guys play a little bit more free. I think you need to let them jump some routes, right? Because it looked like there was a couple routes where guys were sitting. It looked like they wanted to jump the route, but they're stopping, waiting for him to catch the ball. So, and then missing the tackle on top of it, which it's just, it just piles it on. But I thought some of them, some of the secondary, the second team secondary looked pretty good, right? I thought when the third string came out there, my Arkansas boy, Hudson Clark, man, Hudson Clark had two good-ass tackles, had a great pass deflection to break the ball up in the end zone, called the pass interference by 27, I believe is Sam Webb. So I thought, they're going to have to take a look at some of these guys that are not getting, more reps, because maybe they're not showing out in practice, and not everybody shows out in practice, right? Some guys, are gamers, and not everybody knows how to be that dude in practice. And maybe it takes, a game to get the best out of these guys. I don't know, but I feel a lot of these guys, if they're playing like this in practice and in camp, why are they not getting more looks? Because a lot of defensive linemen, like Travian May, another Las Vegas boy, out there making plays again, in the backfield, making tackles, making big hits. So some of these guys need to get a second look. I think. I don't know what you saw in AOC to what I'm seeing. He stays in the pocket, staring down, holding the ball way too long. I seen that too. I mean, I seen the same thing, but I don't know what you mean way too long, because he didn't have a whole lot of time to throw the ball. And again, I'm going to break it down. I'm going to show the all 22. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But from what I seen a lot of good passes. And not just me, Rich Gannon, all three guys in the booth, Kurt Morrison, all of them said, That's a high caliber starting NFL quarterback throw right there from Aiden O'Connell. A bunch of times. They're like, that's a great throw from Aiden O'Connell. But it's not consistent. And that's a problem. In the NFL, you have to be consistent. And I don't know, if it's just in his head, if he's not thinking, if he's not reading the defenses right. Because even Pete Carroll said he don't make those plays in practice, right? That's not a throw he would throw in practice. So it's unfortunate for him. But damn, one interception, I don't know. Holding the ball way too long. I think he had what? 5 passes. One bounced off a receiver's head on the sideline. The other one bounced off Raheem Mostert. An easy catch and a pickup for a first down when we were driving down again. So, I mean, I don't know. We're watching two different things. But again, we will pull up the film. We will break it down. And y'all can tell me what you see and tell me what I see. And we'll put our heads together and see what we see. But I don't think AOC is going to make this team, bro. I think when you put Cam Miller in, it's an offense that's already built for Cam Miller's skills. When you put Aiden O'Connell in, he looks lost in this offense, right? We've seen Geno Smith get the ball out, have time to stand in the pocket, to throw it downfield to Dante Thornton. It takes 4 seconds at least, 3 plus, to get the ball 20 yards, 30 yards downfield if you're waiting for a guy to come free like that. Geno had that time in the pocket. Aiden does not have that time in the pocket. It's a totally different offense from his scheme and what he's used to running. And I agree, he doesn't fit in it. He doesn't fit in what they're trying to do. So when he comes in and tries to run an offense that's built for Geno Smith, it's different for him. It's different. It's different. It's a different, you're running with the second team offensive line, who again, Thayer Munford. Come on, man. I mean, you can move on from Aiden O'Connell. I'm not saying anything bad about Cam Miller, except he's way not ready, right? At least Aiden O'Connell, you know what you're gonna get, right? He's won games. He's came down and won games. He's also came down in games and thrown interceptions like Cam Miller did to lose the game when you could have won it. So he's not there yet, man. Cam Miller has a long way to go. And as a Raider fan, for as long as I've been a Raider fan, I don't feel comfortable knowing that Cam Miller is going to be out there running with the ones if something happens to Geno. I don't really feel comfortable with Aiden O'Connell out there either right now with his performance. Now, I feel like Chip Kelly is smart enough, or should be smart enough, and Pete Carroll should both be smart enough that if your backup quarterback is totally opposite of your starting quarterback, when he's out there, you need to have a different play. You need to have different play calling. You can't run the same shit you run with Geno as Aiden O'Connell. And if that's the problem, then yes, get rid of Aiden O'Connell, bring in another quarterback. You should have never let Carter Bradley go, right? He's mobile. He can throw on the run. He can do all the things that Cam Miller and Geno can do. Aiden, like you said, he can't. He stands in the pocket. But is that a product of the play calling, right? Are they calling plays for him to stand in the pocket? Because I didn't see him rolling out but one time. And when he did, it didn't look bad. So, I mean, I don't know what you guys are seeing and what I'm seeing. But for one interception, it wasn't bad. And I didn't see a bunch of bad passes. You're trying to say we're not going 12-5 like you said? No, I didn't say that. I just said it's going to be a lot harder road, my guy. A Selly Raider, what's good, my guy? Appreciate you. I'm the nation's new racing superhero, Accelerator. Nice. Shout out to you, man. Welcome. Post a picture of your costume and of your shit and everything. I'm the nation's new racing superhero. Nice. I like that. Tyree Wilson improving on the D-line. I mean, right? Let's see. I told y'all Dylan Labe was going to make this roster, right? I believe I told y'all Jack Jones was going to be the first player cut when Pete Carroll got hired. I believe I told y'all. The AOC. No, I'm just kidding. No, just fuck with y'all. But I told y'all, you gotta be patient with Tyree Wilson. But I told you, and I'm gonna say I told you so. He's way better on the defensive line, man. Inside, he's way better inside. He was a problem out there. He was making noise. He was stopping the run. He was forcing the run to the other side. He's forcing guys to make jump cuts and cut and he's setting the edge and let the interior guys eat. So, they have nowhere to go. If you set the edge, they can't get out there, right? That's your job. So, I thought there was mass improvement from Tyree Wilson. Max Crosby continues to talk about him. Continues to train with him, continues to take him under his wing, and I think there's improvement there. It's not. Shout out to the $5 whoop whoop. I agree with Candy. They should have kicked a field goal in the last 45 seconds. It's just preseason, man. They're not trying to win. Now, if it was a game, they might have kicked a field goal. But you want to see what you have in your rookie quarterback, because Cam Miller looks like the future. He's embraced by Tom Brady. He's embraced, obviously, by the media. Nobody's showing any bad plays of Cam Miller. He's obviously embraced by all of Raider Nation already. So, that's the future unless they get somebody different. You're not kicking a field goal in that situation. You want to see what that kid has. Can he come down? Can he score a touchdown? It was a horrible throw. I don't care what anybody says. Rookie or no rookie, you can't panic in those situations and make that throw. There was still time on the clock, obviously, because they came down and kicked a field goal. Came down, made plays and kicked a field goal. So, yeah, I disagree, man. Taking a field goal would have looked like you're trying to win a preseason game, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants to look like that. Horror fanatic, what's good? What's good? I want to know why the Raiders released Carter Bradley as soon as they did. When they didn't him, it was a classic Raiders losing him. Did he look good today? Because I didn't see him look very good out there. I watched it for a little bit. Gino looked awesome. He was 6 for 8. He had 58 yards and a missed wide open Dante Thornton touchdown. I mean, why aren't we talking about that? Why don't y'all keep the same energy? When Aiden O'Connell fucks up, I tell y'all Aiden O'Connell fucks up. But when y'all are wrong, nobody says shit. When guys make mistakes, y'all like, oh, he played so great. Like, come on. I mean, he was decent. He didn't score a touchdown. He got us in Vargas. He got us down there after the turnover. But he played well, man. He didn't make any mistakes. I thought, of course, him and Dante Thornton need a little bit more time together in real speed, real game time. I thought he should have probably played a little bit more before they, threw Aiden O'Connell out there. I would like to see Gino, get a couple more snaps. The fact that they, threw the ball one time to Brock Bowers, made an amazing catch. I thought Gino threw that ball way too high. I mean, come on, let's be obvious. Let's be real here, right? That wasn't the greatest throw. That was an interception, and I'm gonna show it. I'll show the film. That's a total interception, 100% interception. If that defender does not slip before he goes up to get that ball, and if Brock Bowers does not jump up and take that ball away from him, he's totally got him boxed out. He's totally in front of Brock Bowers. What are you saying, bro? Come on. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. Y'all crazy. Labe been real motivated. Yeah, man, he's making plays as a gunner out there tackling, running out there. I think he needs more. I think he needs more time. Put him out there in some wheel routes, let him catch the ball out of the backfield like they did last week for the touchdown. I thought was good for his confidence. Was good for the O-line, I thought. Eric Allen pointed out that AOC. Wait, where'd that go? Hold up. All right, here we go. Eric Allen pointed out the AOC interception was more on the receiver. That was that wide receiver has to drive upfield and not telegraph his route. The receiver let the DB dedicate the route. Shout out to my guy Jason Downs for shooting knowledge out here to all the haters in the building. You know, AOC's got to go. I admit it was a bad throw, bro. He should have never thrown the ball. But we're gonna show it in slow motion and break it down. I'll pull out the all 22 Monday. It'll be up. It'll be ready. I need a day to do it. Again, I'll be back live every day. No vacations, no more. Worn out. Had a great time with the grandson and the kids for 4 days. Definitely well needed. And my grandson just wore me to death, bro. I didn't have time to go live. Every time I picked up my phone, it was G-pop, 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 G-pop. I heard that shit about 500 million times, and I loved every bit of it. So don't get to see him much, but if anybody cared, I had a blast, man. I had a blast. But yeah, shout out to Eric Allen, you know, pointing out the facts as a corner. Right, the receivers got to go get that ball, and he telegraphed the route. And I thought the route was a little rounded. Right, we'll break it down. Man. I'm gonna show y'all how I break down film. The route was a little rounded. It wasn't a sharp cut. You didn't cut to the ball. And if you're Jack Besh, you're supposed to be way bigger and stronger than that DB. You got to at least try to knock the ball loose, take it away, something on that play, man. So I don't know if it was completely the receiver's fault because Aiden O'Connell shouldn't have thrown that route, but it looked to me like I didn't see him staring down the receiver, right, from what I seen. And again, I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong, but I didn't see him staring down the receiver. I seen him looking left and then turning and throwing quick, which is he never does, never does well. But yeah. Trusting your receiver to be open was not a throw you got to make, but the defender made a good play on the ball too, right? He cut the route off like he's supposed to do, got his hands on it, and came away with the ball. So it's one of those plays that happen. Everybody's acting like the interception was the interception that cost us the game. No, the one that cost us the game was the one at the end from the rookie. I mean, let's be honest. Aiden O'Connell drove us down 3 times. No, we didn't get touchdowns. I knew Wilson could be good at DB at least. At DT. I mean, it's a better fit, right? Like I said, he has a 7-foot wingspan. He's 265, 280 pounds, whatever he is. That's an interior defensive lineman to me. That's not an edge rusher. So, continue to put that man in there. Let him eat. I think he looks a lot better. They don't need to put him on the outside. I wanted to see a lot more of Ja Joyner. I wanted to see a lot more of Jafari Harvey. I'll have to go back and watch the all 22 and see when they were out there, but I didn't see their numbers a lot. But Tyree Wilson looked good. The design of the play is a snap throw play. And that's what, I agree. It is a snap throw play. Sorry, this shit is killing me, bro. Ow. My back is sweating. I don't know what the hell's going on. Aiden O'Connell held the ball way too long. That's a play that you have to throw way earlier. But we'll go back and look at it. I didn't really see where the receiver ever beat the defender. So it's a ball that shouldn't have been thrown. It's a bad mistake, very bad mistake. Carter Bradley's first drive looked good, but regardless, he played good enough to beat us. I mean, I guess if you put it like that. Rebel, what's your prediction? Shout out for another $5 holler, keeping the lights on. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, man. It's crazy how you support this channel. Couldn't be here without you. What are your predictions this year after watching the preseason game? I'm still going with 12-5, man. I don't renege on my shit. I think this is a 12-5 team. I think they got to put it all together, but I think they're gonna have to squeeze by some teams, right? They're gonna have some shit happen on the offensive side where they blow some teams out, because I don't know if the defense, is that team that that's gonna stop our whole teams to under 24 points. So I think they're gonna have some shootouts, and may the best man win. I hope we're the best. We're the best team, right? And if we can do that, if we could just stay in there till week 3, week 4, I think by then this team's gonna be scary fucking good. Telling you, week 3, week 4, give them time to gel. Give time for everybody to figure out. They're the starters, the backup, where their role is, when they're gonna play, right? What the team needs them to do, what the coaches need them to do, what the players next to them need them to do. And once everybody figures this out, I've seen a lot of good signs from today. Lots of good signs that we can improve on, right? You know, there's some backups that made some plays out there. I thought Chris Smith made an outstanding one-on-one tackle to save a touchdown, make them kick a field goal. Plays like that, guys are stepping up. Guys are making better plays. I think they showed a lot more discipline today in their assignments and their 111s. Do your 111. Do your job. Don't worry about the man next to you. Worry about your assignment. If you're on the line, worry about your gap, your gap containment. If you're a linebacker, worry about, your area, your spot, who you're covering. Worry about your guy, right? What you're doing. And if these guys just do their 111, I thought they played pretty well. Again, the first team offense, they got pressured, they got in the backfield, but when they did, the secondary let them down. So that's got to tighten up. But I feel like they're going to weave out the players, right? They're going to weave out the guys that are getting beat, that are getting cooked constantly, and you're not going to be out there on a Pete Carroll team. We all know that's the fact, right? The guys that are playing, guys like Kai Blue Kelly that are stepping up, making plays, are the guys that are going to be out there. I think Trey Taylor had had a big hit to knock a ball down that would have been a first down. That aggressiveness is what Pete Carroll likes, and those plays aren't going to go unseen. So guys like Trey Taylor, I thought when he was out there, did a damn good job in coverage, did a damn good job in recovery, right? Because he got beat twice and came back and made a play. I thought he was making tackles out there. Again, got my guy Hudson Clark out there making plays. So the Raiders, like Pete Carroll said, they're going to have, and Spytek said, they're going to have a tough decision of letting these guys go. And there's going to be a lot of teams that come calling for a lot of these defensive players that are going to fit, maybe better in another scheme. We'll see. What else we got? One good thing this week, at least, KC played worse against Seattle than we did. Hopefully, that's a tell that our defense will be the shit. Shout out, man. Shout out. Preach that truth. Carter Bradley is a coach's son, so he's usually not gonna do gambles with the ball. I don't know, man. I didn't see nothing against Carter Bradley. I thought he played pretty well. But when you seen him next to Cam Miller in the practices, in the one-on-one drills, Cam Miller was way better. I'm sorry. Cam Miller was way better. He was faster. He looked crisper. I thought Carter just looked a little stiff. The guy's, he's a pretty muscular guy for a quarterback, right? And I thought he just looked a little stiff out there. I thought some of his throws came up short when they were, running target drills. Because, again, I watch everything that I can get my hands on. Plus, I got the little birdies in my ear telling me shit that's going on. But I liked Carter Bradley's game. And if anything, we all know Aiden O'Connell does not fit this system, and they're not going to cater to him, or change it when he's in there. Now, maybe if Geno gets hurt, and he's out for a couple games, then they'll probably change it around, the next game, more equivalent to Aiden O'Connell. But to me, a good offensive coordinator, ask your quarterback, right? What are the things that you do best? What are your strengths? And I don't see him running anything that's Aiden O'Connell's strengths. You're giving him no time to throw. You're in the pocket. You're putting, guys aren't there that don't have speed, that can't get open downfield. I mean, he did have the one to Donde Thornton last week that ended up in an interception. But this week, no run game behind him again. So, if you're not gonna put a guy in the best position to show himself, I don't know why I have him on the team. Is what I don't know why I have him. So let him go, trade him. Somebody's gonna need him. There's a lot of quarterback needy teams out there. There's a lot of teams that thought they had their quarterback this year in free agency that aren't looking as good as they thought. All good, Rebel. I appreciate you picking up when I need someone to talk to and that stuff. I'm going through at home. Yeah, it's all good, man. Always there, always there. Even on vacation. Even on vacation. Nah, I wasn't busy. It's all good. I'm just fucking with you. I hope you have some time after the live chat. I'll call. Yeah. I got a little bit. Corners and linebackers still seem a work in progress. I thought, there was some decent plays from the linebacker, some decent coverage plays. I thought Tommy Eichenberg looked pretty good, bro. Tommy Eichenberg looked pretty good. I mean, in coverage, stopping the run, sideline to sideline, I was impressed. Now, there was a couple plays where you're like, damn. But other than that, I thought he looked pretty good. I didn't see Amari Gaynor at all. Did anybody see Amari Gaynor in the game? I did not see Amari Gaynor out there. I'm going to have to go watch all 22. Rosetown was good. Appreciate you popping in. Offense can be really dangerous this offseason, though. It can. If you give Geno time to throw the ball, it definitely could be dangerous. Member for 5 months. What? Hell yeah. I appreciate you. 5-month member. You might be the second longest member I have. Shout out to you. Thanks for making the hotline. No, you're good. And anybody else needs the hotline, it's on the community page. You got problems, you got something you want to talk about, something to get off your chest. You want to talk Raider football. You want to leave, a comment that you want played on the show. Man, call the damn hotline. I think if we stay healthy, it could be a great season. But if we have 5 or more injury starters, we don't have backups good enough. No, and I don't think many teams do. I mean, if we're going to go that route. But yeah, damn it, why did my fight stop? Come on, man. But yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll definitely have to make some moves in free agency, and I think we still might make some moves in free agency. I don't know. Preseason, so really Chiefs play at vanilla. Don't matter if they lose or not. And I think we're doing the same thing. Shout out to my guy Alex from the building. Aladdin Saddam, what's good? Salute. Appreciate you dropping in. Chris Smith made some plays. Trey Taylor, too. Gotta keep stepping up. Yeah, both of them made plays. I was really impressed with Trey Taylor. Chris Smith, Tommy Eichenberg. I mean, let's get into it right now. Let's get into my top 5. Top 5. What the hell happened? Huh. It's not up. Yeah. Imagine that. Me not ready. What? Stop playing. All right, so this is my top 5 list. It should be somewhere right here. If I can pull it up. Oh my goodness. All right, man. So most impactful players for the starters, right? Starter-wise was Ashton Jeanty, the rookie. Ran hard as hell, right? Exactly what he said. The best quote. And I'm going to make a... Anyway, we'll get into that later. Check out the merch store. Raiders Unleashed / candyangel.com. Candy at candyangel.com. Whatever. Go check out the merch, man. But the best quote I've ever heard, Ashton Jeanty letter to all the GMs, right? To all the GMs. Why not draft the player that nobody can tackle? And man, the bowling ball / Silver Surfer showed all of that tonight. Bouncing off guys, dragging guys. Got a little stinger, trying to lower his shoulder. Gonna have to watch out for that. Like to see him jump over those guys when they're ducking down like that. But ran hard, 33 yards, a touchdown on 7 carries, bulldozing defenders, and showing no fear at all. Love to see that from the running back, and hopefully it silences some of the critics just a little bit. You shouldn't draft a running back in the 6th pick overall, and I'm still on that board, man. We needed a lot of positions filled. The offensive line looked a little better. We'll get into that. But next up, man, you have to give it to Daniel Carlson, right? Perfect 4-for-4, a 50-yarder, a late 30-yard kick to briefly put us in the lead, very briefly. So shout out to Daniel Carlson, Ashton Jeanty, Jeremy Chin, of course, snagging the interception. Geno Smith, I'm going to give it to Geno Smith. He made plays early, 6 of 8, 55 yards, connecting with the tight ends like Brock Bowers near the goal line, which I think Brock Bowers saved the interception, I'm not going to lie. But he looked all right. So I'm going to give it to Geno. And Max Crosby, man, you have to go with Max Crosby, bro. Max Crosby, disruptive as hell, coming off the injury, not going to play much in the preseason, and gets 2 tackles for loss, 2 TFLs. The guy is an absolute dog and a freak of nature, and it shouldn't, it's not even fair when he's out there. But, and he looks dialed in, man. He looks dialed in. So I was super impressed with that. My other standouts, I don't know why I just got rid of myself. Other standouts, guys that I thought really made a push to make this team and, maybe not have locked themselves in, but pretty damn close, right? Pretty damn close. I'm going to start with the running back, Collier Johnson. I think he makes this team, and I didn't think he was going to make this team before. I had him as one of those guys getting cut, and I don't know who's getting cut. I don't know if it's going to be Sincere McCormick, who looked pretty okay out there tonight, had a nice catch, had some pretty decent runs, looked pretty solid. So I don't know, if he just makes it with special teams or what. But the guy's making plays on special teams. He's out there tackling guys, right? He's out there blocking. He stepped up his blocking a little bit, it looked like, in the 2 pass protection plays that I've seen from Chris Collier. So shout out to Chris Collier out there. My guy, Toasty Topics. Shout out to Chris Collier out there, making some plays, moving the line, opening holes for himself, dragging guys. Love to see that. And I think, if he continues to be the hammer, could be that 3rd or 4th running back out there. Next up was, of course, Kai Blue Kelly. I thought, making some damn good tackles, making a stop at the goal line to save a touchdown, getting his hands on balls, which, whatever you want to think, but getting his hands on the football, breaking up some passes. I think he was sticky in coverage. I think he's a guy that you can move around a lot and continues to make plays. Next guy that I think, is also making noise out there is JJ Pegues. Is not going unseen. When he's out there, he's constantly, running to the ball. He's around the ball. Every time the defender's getting tackled, they're going down. He's in on the play. I see him moving bodies around, with ease out there. And I want to see some more JJ Pegues on the offense. I really want to see him be a fullback, once or twice in those goal line positions with Ashton Jeanty, where the first play he didn't get, he got stuffed, didn't get a yard. Put JJ Pegues in those positions. Put Zamir White, do something. I want to see a fullback. I think I seen one time we had a 2 A 2 running back set. I want to see more of those. I think we need to run 22 personnel a lot more than what we do. Um, at least in my opinion, I'd like to see us run a lot more 22 personnel. If you don't know what 22 personnel is, 2 tight ends, 2 running backs. I think we definitely could get some good looks out of the 2 running back situation, no matter who's out there. Um, my guy Jonah Lalu, I thought made some plays. You know, he had some penalties called for holding last week, some inexperienced, just bonehead plays. But he regrouped this week. You know, he wasn't out there, but when he was making plays. Tyree Wilson, man, Tyree Wilson doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but he's a big body out there that's making, you know, stopping the run, making guys cut, making guys gaps, you know, slowing guys down, making them go from the A gap to the B gap, bouncing gaps. He's a problem out there. And if he continues to get better, man, the upside for this defensive line is huge. If he can be the guy we think he, you know, he should be or should have been with the 7th overall pick. Let me fucking start this so I can get back. Turn my phone on. What? Be coming in here with that. I don't even know what I was. Oh, and then another, you know, 2 more guys. I thought, you know, I did have top 5, but these are guys that, you know, not everybody's talking about, not everybody's seeing. Lackey Tassi, man. Lackey Tassi for him never playing football, for being a rugby guy. The steps, not the steps, the leaps and bounds this man has made is ridiculous. Now, yes, he needs some work, but if he continues to grow at this speed, this man is taking a job from somebody. He's taking somebody's job. He's dislodging bodies out there. He's picking guys up off of their feet, literally. He's going to be a problem, man. He's going to be a problem. So shout out to him for putting in the work, out there grinding, picking up a total, you know, a total new sport, right? It's nowhere near the same as rugby. So shout out to him. Again, you got to give Chris Smith some credit for the open field tackle. He had another play where he dislodged the ball, I do believe. Trey Taylor also, you know, with the pass breakup. Didn't see much from DeCamry and Richardson out there, but I didn't see him getting beat. I didn't see him throwing his way, which is a good thing. So, shout out to the defensive line for stepping up, for stopping the run. But when you stop the run, usually it means you're stacking the box. Or you're blitzing guys, right? Or you're running that 4-3 base and you're bringing another safety down and you get beat over the top. So we need to find ways to stop the run without getting beat over the top, right? We got to find those guys that can get from side to the middle or from the middle of the field and stay in the middle of the field. And if it doesn't work, go to a cover 2, Tampa cover 2, man. Let the linebackers drop back in the middle so they don't have that open field. I think we got the guys in Amari Gaynor and Tommy Eichenberg that if we had to run Tampa 2, you know, coverage, which is pretty much Sky 3, the only difference is the linebacker, you know, drops back in the middle of the field. So, I mean, something's got to be done with that shit. I thought our offense, you know, our first team offense just got dog walked down the field. Yes, we held them to a field goal. We tightened up like Midas, you know, when we got down there, but not good enough. My guy Toasty Topics, AOC is done. I told you Gino is that guy. I mean, you've seen 8 throws from Gino. Let's not get carried away, right? We've seen 5 throws from Cam Miller, a sack and an interception. Let's not get carried away. Porter looking great all around, even on special teams. Yes, Darian Porter, you know, solid, and I want to see more man coverage. I want to see more press coverage. I want to see these guys being able to take chances. Because I don't think we have the speed. I don't think we have the speed in our linebackers or the safeties, for that matter, you know, to cover these guys in a cover 3 when you're letting guys go. I think there's too much space from the, you know, when you got guys on a 15-yard line guarding a receiver – He's got 15 yards. You're going to get 10 yards, at least 7.5, right? If the receiver's faster than the DB, he's going to get more yards than that defender. So you're giving up 7 yards, and then you're hoping to God that your DB can make that tackle, which they weren't. They weren't at all. So every time they came up to make a tackle, on these little short routes, we're getting cooked with these 5-yard routes. 5-yard out routes turn into 25 yards, over exaggerating, but that's just got to stop. So Patrick Graham, Pete Carroll, y'all got to do something. Tighten up this damn defense. Let these guys play more press coverage. Let them play man if we have to. Have more packages in man on third down at least. Whatever it takes. But I feel, from what I've seen, that we have the guys to run more man coverage, man. But let me know what y'all think. Yep, Collier would get picked up by any other team if he was waived. I agree. Kai Blue Kelly earned a post-game interview. He's moving up, right? Was he on the post-game interview? All I said was Pete Carroll, Max, and Ashton Jeanty. I'm going to have to go back and watch that. Offensive line looks completely different group of men. They look good. They look pretty solid. But the second team offensive line that Aiden O'Connell was in there with was bad, bro. I'm telling you, it was bad. And we're gonna break down all the film. Don't worry. Love this time of year. Film breakdown. Fuck monetization. I'm excited for Booker making plays. Makes an impact. Just got us. What? Impact just got here and got the 49er running back carted off. He's a big dude. And he can make plays in the run, right? But damn, you gotta have gap integrity, man. You gotta know your gap assignment. You can't overrush in your gap assignment. And like I said, I seen two times where it ended up in big run plays, but that'll all be cleaned up. He's not much of a guy that's gonna get to the quarterback, but he's gonna stop the run, right? And that's what we need. Check my messages. Shut the fuck up, dude. Check my messages. Jesus Christ. Got no class. Bugging somebody in the middle of a live, bro. I don't know what you want me to check, bro. You're fucking annoying. I'm really not worried about the secondary. I think they'll come together. I think we got time. The middle of the field stuff is the linebackers are not getting in the right depth. And that's a problem. That's a problem for cover 3. And they should have kicked that field goal. They should not have kicked no damn field goal. Shut up. You need to learn more about football. Stop. You don't kick field goals in the preseason, bro. You're not trying to win games. I don't care, bro. So yeah, all around, man, I seen improvement a little bit in the tackling. It needs work. I seen improvement in the run game. The corners looked a little bit better. They're only going to get better with time once they know their assignment, feel more comfortable with the guys in front of them and the guys behind them. Linebackers, I think they, you can't be locked in on some of these guys, right? I think Pete Carroll might, have feelings about some of these guys, being veterans. But sometimes you just might have to go with the younger guys like Tommy Eichenberg, like Amari Gaynor. Put them in with the ones, man. I want to see these young guys mixed in with the ones. I think we're running too many first teams. But the only people that are mixing it up on the first team is the defensive line and the secondary. And to me, that's not good. Now, once in a while, they bring in Jamal Adams and take out Devin White. But come on, man. That's not enough mixing it up for me. I want to see a lot more. And I know it's only preseason. They're not going to show everything. But I want to see more. They kicked one of the other team right before that. Thomas Booker going to be a great development player. I feel like he's going to improve each game. I hope so, man. I hope so because, apparently he had like the greatest players of all time in front of him and couldn't get on the field much. But you got to show it in practice, man. Everything, everybody has high hopes for him. Everybody said great things about him. The guy's a monster. I mean, you could literally just pick up guys and set them out of your way. He's that big and strong. And once you gel, once you get to know the guys next to you, like Adam Butler, who wasn't out there much, right? Max Crosby not out there much. Malcolm Kuntz making a couple plays, who was out there a little bit. Malcolm Kuntz sighting. So it's gonna all come together. It's gonna all come together. We just, all we need is patience, as Guns N' Roses said. And the linebackers definitely need to be in the right spot. They need to know their gap assignment and containment also, right? Especially in cover 3. And I think that was when we got beat. When we were in cover 3, the Sky defense is we were getting cooked out there. We were getting cooked out there. My guy Lawrence was good. So, was it the defense? Was it the personnel? Only time will tell. But I hope it tells really, really soon. You don't have to know football to know an easy win. But they're not trying to win. It's the preseason. The point of preseason is not to win. 2 years ago, we were 4-0 in the preseason. We went 5-12 or some shit. The preseason wins do not mean nothing. Absolutely nothing. What means in the preseason is improvement. Is guys flash, right? Guys make tackles. Guys make great catches like Brock Bowers did to save an interception, right? Guys protect your quarterback, like they did Geno and Cam Miller. Those are what you want to see. That's what you want to see. Guys like Dalton Wagner having a damn good game. Two games in a row. Put that man out there. Why isn't he not out there more? He's played right side. He's played left side in college. I know. I watched him at Arkansas. I seen him live. The dude's a freak. He's just got to stay healthy. His footwork's getting better. In the run game, Dalton Wagner is a road grader, bro. He's going to maul people. He's 6'8", 235, 40 pounds. The man is a monster. Why is Thayer Munford out there? I don't understand it. I will never understand it. Trade him, cut him. I don't even think he's worth trade bait. I don't know what you would get for him. A future 6th round, maybe 3 years down the road or something. I don't know how that would work out. Sorry, Thayer Munford. Nothing against you, my guy, but it's just bad, bro. It's just bad, and you got to do better. You got to do better. Robert's not good in coverage. Was showing again. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Getting cooked out there in coverage is why I said you need to give Amari Gaynor some of those reps. You need to give Tommy Eichenberg some of those reps. You need to give Cody Lindenberg some of those reps. All those guys are faster than a Landon Roberts. A Landon Roberts is a run stuffer. In coverage, it shows, man. We're going to get beat. We're going to get cooked out there. I'm not about football, but I see a win when I see one. Devin White has been looking good in practice, but where's his energy at today? That's a good point. That's a good point, Leaky. I don't have an answer. I don't know. He looks good in practice. He's out there picking off Geno Smith, right? Taking pick sixes to the house. I don't know, man. Maybe these quarterbacks are better than Geno and they throw the ball with better placement. Maybe the receivers are better than the receivers he's guarding in practice, which I think both of those picks come guarding Brock Bowers. So I don't know how that's possible. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd be making shit up like I just did if I try to tell you. I don't know, but we need him to show up. And if he doesn't show up, just release his ass, bro. Let him be one of the cuts. Let Amari Gaynor get more reps where he deserves. That I feel like he needs to be in that spot. Like, I don't know why he's not, bro. I don't know where they're putting him out there running with the threes or whatever he's doing. But put Amari Gaynor in there with the ones a little bit next to two vets, right? You got a Landon Roberts, you got Amari Gaynor, and then you got Jamal Adams. Come on, man. Let these guys put the youngster in the right positions and let the man eat. Or Tommy Eichenberg, or Cody Lindenberg, or Jalen Smith, or whoever it is. Was it Barrett out there, or Jones making not Matt Jones, Michael Barrett out there making plays again. Shout out to Michael Barrett too. I believe it was Michael Barrett, the linebacker, coming up making plays in the backfield. And shout out to the one and only Raider Nation for life fan. Ashton Jeanty looked really good today on the field. He did. He looked tough. He looked solid. He looked physical. And that's how she likes it. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, they should be trying to win and showing people that they're what to be scared of. I mean, you know, you can look at it that way, but really you don't want to show everybody what you're made of, because if people know what you're made of, what you're going to do, they're going to game plan for it. See, this is the NFL. It's like a chess game, right? You're not going to show everybody what you're going to do in the season. You're going to show a little bit. You're going to show, you know, some trickery plays here and there. You're going to show some shit to catch people off guard. But none of these plays we're running in the preseason more than likely will ever get ran in a game. These are all distraction. These are all, and shout out for the $2 holla. You know, these are all just plays to kind of get a feel of what we have in this offense. Just compete, baby. Available at candyangel.com. Y'all help me out. But no. So yeah, man. Shout out for the $2 holler, but you're not going to show your cards. You don't want everybody to know what you got. And you want to catch teams off guard. The only way you catch teams off guard is for them not to know what's coming, right? What else we got? It shows that they're trying. They're trying. They're not trying to win in preseason. It doesn't matter. Like, they would have took a tie, I'm sure, and been happy with that. The nation would have been crazy. They would rather lose than tie. I don't know what's up with that. The Lions went undefeated in the preseason, but went 0-17 in the regular season. Shout out. See? I love my people on here. Always dropping facts and knowledge to keep people's minds clear. Preseason, and people are gonna get mad and cry and get their panties in a bunch. And Raider Rebel said preseason doesn't matter. Yeah, shut the fuck up. Preseason doesn't matter in wins and losses. It doesn't. Nobody cares. Nobody's gonna remember 20 years from now. Hey, you remember that one time the Raiders at Allegiant Stadium beat the 49ers in preseason? Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to remember it. Nobody's going to show highlights from it. All these plays are going to be forgotten about in 2 weeks. They're not going to be posted anywhere. It's meaningless in that sense. But what's not meaningless is the growth of the players, learning the system, knowing how far you can push players, knowing positions you can put players in that they can still continue to make plays, knowing where you can push guys where they don't break. That's what preseason is. It has nothing to do with wins. It has to do with learning your roster, learning the new guys you brought in, learning the rookies. Where are they going to fit in? Do they play better starting? Do they play better coming off the bench? Do they play better on the inside? Do they play better on the outside of the defensive line? Do they play better in the slot? Are they better as number one receiver? Can they be moved to tight end? Like Jack Beck could probably be moved all over the field. Those are things you find out in the preseason. Are your running backs willing to run people over and lower shoulders in the preseason and not duck away from hits? Those are things you need to know, right? Can you pick up yards in short yardage situation? Can your offensive line move guys out of the way? Can your quarterback hit the deep ball downfield on target, right? We've seen today it didn't work for any one of our quarterbacks. Those are things you got to work through, because if you don't know your weaknesses, how do you get better, right? If you don't know your strengths, how do you improve on your strengths? So that's all preseason is. It's to make everybody better, to get everybody acclimated with the system. And if you don't know what acclimated means, it means on the same page, right? Everybody's gelled as one. Everybody knows their assignment. That's all preseason is. It's not about wins or losses. It's not about field goals. Nobody keeps the stats. There's no stats, recorded. You can't go back and look at, I maybe you can go back and look at stats from preseason games, but it's meaningless, right? It don't mean shit. So kicking a field goal in that situation, I'd rather see Cam Miller throw the interception personally because it helps him grow as a player. It helps him learn as a player, and that's what the preseason is for. Eric Stokes is the number one quarterback. We're hoping that other teams' trash can come be good players for us. Agreed. I don't know about trash. I'm not going to go that far. He's not Aiden O'Connell. uh, I don't know, man. I don't know. He didn't. He didn't look good, right? He wasn't out there long. I thought he needed more reps. Uh, had Ricky Pearsall, which some people think Ricky Pearsall is trash. First round pick, 400 yards last year on 30 attempts with 3 touchdowns. I think the kid's a baller, and he showed that today. Working the veteran Eric Stokes, right? 3 plays in a row, I do believe, over 10-yard completions, yards after the catch. Got to do better. We got to do better. AOC fans are just as bad as Car fans. John Leon, been a minute, my guy. What's good? um, they already think that the Raiders suck. Why not show them something different? I don't know. I spit out my drink, bro. From what? From what? I don't know what you're talking about. All right. Maybe in a preseason game was like 80-0, it would be remembered. Well, I mean, okay, that's a good point. I take that back. One thing that'll always be remembered, in my opinion, that'll never be forgotten, is my Arkansas Razorback. Woo! Cam fucking Little, 70-yard field goal kick. Yes. I don't know what 7 is. 70 yards in an NFL game. That is absolutely flipping ridiculous. And that should be remembered, no matter what, bro. That should never be forgotten. I'll never forget it. For one, he's an Arkansas Razorback. He broke almost every kicking record there is as an Arkansas Razorback. Never missed an extra point as a Hog. Has some damn good long kicks to win some games as a Razorback. Would have loved for him to be a Raider, but it is what it is. We got Hudson Clark and Dalton Wagner. But man, shout out to Cam Little, dude. 70-yard field goal. Absolutely insane. Hands down. Shout out to my guy. Fans talking about playoffs. But I just want to see the Raiders make a miracle by winning the division for once. Sweeping last year. Getting swept last year is diabolical. I mean, fans talking about making the playoffs just want the Raiders to win the division. If they win the division, they make the playoffs, right? So aren't they kind of on the same page as you? I don't know. I'm just saying. If y'all don't know, now you know, my ninjas. Stokes has to do better, or he's going to be on the down the depth chart for sure. And with that, let me read this last one. When you said that our people are going to say, Rebel said preseason doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, and they're going to. And they're going to be like, Rebel said preseason doesn't matter. Yeah, just like that. So, but the depth chart, man. Somebody said something very, very important after the practice game with the 49ers. A very well-respected tight end named Kerry Kittles that said something that really discouraged the shit out of me. I'm not going to lie. As a Raiders fan, and it's something that I've already known, something that I've already thought in my head, And something I probably said on many lives, but I don't know how much shit y'all remember what I say. Don't seem like anything. But he said watching film of Pete Carroll back in the day when he was in Seattle is exactly like watching film now for the Raiders. It's exactly what he's seen in the preseason scrimmage game. That's telling, bro. That's telling. This defense is exactly the same as what Pete Carroll's ran everywhere. I don't see how that's going to be beneficial because it started to get to the point where teams were beating the shit out of Seattle over the middle, running the ball, passing the ball like they kind of did us the last 2 weeks. In the 4-3 in a 4-3 base, in a sky defense. I don't think, I'm not sure of him trying to relive the Legion of Boom is the best for Raider Nation, is the best for this franchise. Now, he took a year off. He said he learned some things. He evolved, right? He learned some philosophies that he wanted to try out. But 14 years running the same defense in Seattle, not to mention however many years he ran it with the Jets and with the Patriots. There's film everywhere on it. Everybody already knows how to defend it. Everybody knows how to stop it. Everybody knows how to beat it. Is that going to be a problem for us? Do you think it's going to be a problem? Let me know in the comments. Why for yes and for no. I feel it's going to be a problem. I think teams are going to take advantage of us on the defense because they know what's coming. They know how to beat it. And until we find the right personnel that can live up to Pete Carroll's expectations of what he thinks the Las Vegas Raiders should be compared to Seattle and the teams he's ran in the past, I think it's going to be a problem. I really think it's going to be a problem. Now, Patrick Graham, I've said this and I've always said this. People have way higher regards for Patrick Graham than I do. Like Max Crosby says he's the greatest defensive coordinator in the NFL. I don't see it. He's not Spagnuolo. It's not even close, bro. But we know his defense always bend, don't break, right? They give up a lot of run plays. They don't create a lot of turnovers. They don't get a lot of interceptions. They don't cause a lot of fumbles. And if we can't do that, no matter how good our offense is, this team is not going to be as good as I think they are. And they're not going to be as good as some of y'all think they are. And they might not even be as good as 7-5 and the media thinks they are. Because those things have to be changed. They have to be fixed. Now, I know we haven't had the number one defense out there for a whole entire half or a whole entire game. And we're probably not going to see that until week 1 against a very, very nasty offensive line, a very nasty offensive running game, and a quarterback that can sling the ball anywhere in the field and make throws. So these are the questions I have. I'm very, very concerned. But if we can tighten the shit up in in the next 20, what are we at? 27 days, 23 days, 22 days, somewhere like that, 22, 23 days away from the season. If we can tighten that shit up really, really quick, I'll feel a little bit more comfortable. But right now, I feel like we have a lot of questions on the defensive line. Who's going to be those guys, right? Who's staying? Who's making the roster? Who's going to get cut? We seen Carter. Carter made a damn good play today. Got to the quarterback like in a blink of an eye, quicker than a hiccup for, I don't know if it was a sack, tackle for a loss. I can't remember what it was. We'll break it down on game film. But we still have questions, man. I thought we played a way better game offensively, defensively. I thought the starters looked better. I think the second unit on both offense and defense could need some help in the trenches. But third string, I thought, a lot of those guys look good. So hopefully they can start mixing these guys together, find the right personnel. And I'm just praying that these guys, as long as they've been doing this, don't make the wrong moves and cut guys that are going to go to teams and show out, because we have a lot of guys on this team that have upside, right? That just need coaching, that just need opportunities in the right positions, right? You can't call a guy being a second team quarterback or a second string quarterback running with nothing but the twos opportunities, in my opinion, right? Because a backup quarterback, when a first string quarterback gets hurt, the backup quarterback doesn't come in with the second team. They don't take the whole entire first team out. No, he runs with the ones. Imagine that. So there's a lot of things that I'm seeing that, I have questions with, that I think need to get cleaned up. Because again, Gino's timing, still needs work with this receivers. And if his timing needs work with the ones, could you imagine what Carter Bradley and Aiden O'Connell's timing with the ones is going to be? A totally different offensive line, a totally different center snapping you the ball. Again, shout out to Will Putnam. I thought Will Putnam looked pretty decent out there, as the backup center. Another guy that I think makes this team. But shout out to everybody in the building, man. Let me know how y'all feel, what y'all think. If you have any questions, any comments, I appreciate y'all pulling up. Rocking movie this long. I'm gonna get off here. I would love to give Pete at least 1 to 2 more drafts. He could basically turn this team around. I agree 100%. I agree. Gino was forcing passes today. Someone could have picked someone could have picked, we don't have a quarterback. Our defense is Swiss cheese. I'm just being honest. I don't expect much from this year. Damn, I love it when my guy, the critic, always comes in the building. But you have a solid case, man. Gino did force balls. And, you have guys in here that are saying, Gino's going to be great. Aiden's garbage. Gino's the number 1 quarterback. I'm not with that, man. I'm not convinced yet, right? 8 of 5 or 6 of 8, whatever he is, with 58 yards on 2 drives. Not a lot, man. Not a lot. He missed a couple throws. The timing was off. Had all the time in the world. I thought I seen the offensive line did a damn good job. You can't force throws. That pass that Brock Bowers caught for a big gain should have been a pick. I agree with you. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that need to be cleaned up on the offense and the defense. We need to find the offensive line. It looked like, the unit we had out there today was gelling. But again, if somebody gets hurt on that line, man, some of those guys that are projected to make the team, I don't have faith in. I don't have faith in at all. Like Alex Kappa, like Thayer Munford, I'm going to call him out. Charles Grant at this moment right now, no. Caleb Rogers looked better out there. Looks a lot more, looked pretty aggressive. So there's questions, man. There's questions all around. Can we continue to protect Gino? Can Gino hit the open receiver? Because I thought that was why he was rated in the top 10, top 5 quarterback in the NFL, is because his accuracy with the deep ball. And I know it's only preseason, but how many games does it take before he gets it together? And you can't judge a book by eight passes, bro. 8 passes. If you throw 8 passes and you have an interception or a fumble, then we have a problem. We have a problem. So, you can't say anybody looked great and he's the number 1 starter by far from the performance I've seen. When Brock Purdy came down, it looked good as hell, bro. Mac Jones looked pretty decent, right? So, yeah, a little bit of questions, and you're 100% right. Our defense is Swiss cheese. There's a lot of holes in the starters. But I feel like things are going to change, right? If Eric Stokes isn't that guy, if he doesn't continue, if he continues to get beat like that, they're going to move guys around, right? Or they're going to go get a veteran, which how many of y'all feel we need a veteran? If you feel we need a veteran, defensive back, let me know, bro. Let me know. I think James Bradbury is still available. I think that would be an absolute steal. I think he's a guy that would lock down that number one spot and let the number two guys battle it out, whether it be Eric Stokes, whether it be Dekamarion Richardson, whether it be Kai Blue Kelly, whether it be Greedy Vance, whether it be Darian Porter Jr. I don't care who it is, but bring in a veteran so somebody can solidify one side and let these other guys fight for the other job. But that's all I got to say. Love y'all. Appreciate you, my guys. Appreciate everybody's comments. Appreciate y'all for pulling up when I've been gone for a week. I need to get back in the algorithm, so if y'all can comment after this video. Again, go check out the merch, Candy Angel, at candyangel.com/Raiders Unleashed. Got some fire-ass merch and more coming. Support the channel if you can. If you can't, it is what it is. But I love y'all. Peace. Watch out for one another. Protect yourself. Believe in yourself. And if you have problems or need to talk, the hotline is always open, man. It's on the community post page. Peace. Raiders. Much love, nation.